Hello friends, this is Cindy with Oak Hill Family Farm. I am coming to you today to talk about our brand new Tapestry King Bead Loom. This thing is humongous. So for all of you tapestry weavers, this one is for you. And this one's a bit different than the rest of ours. It's a little bit more involved. And so I wanted to make sure and show you what it's all about and make sure you have all the tools you need to get this thing going and really working really good. So when you receive your Tapestry King package, you're gonna find some, hopefully not too intimidating, but you're gonna find some more pieces than what you might see on some of our other looms. So I wanted to go through these with you. Of course, you have our upright sides. Just like all of our other looms, you will get your sides. This allows your beadwork to be angled towards your face, so it can help relieve your shoulder, neck, back strain, all of these things. It makes for a more ergonomic, more comfortable work beading experience. So that is the standard in all of our bead looms, and so you'll see those for sure. One thing I want to point out is we do stamp with our logo here. We stamp the sides, and you'll see that on both pieces of both of the side pieces. You'll see that, and that is to help you with orientation. Not only does it tell you who this is from, but it helps you to know which side goes up. With these bead looms, naturally, it can be a little bit confusing. Does it go this way or does it go this way? And there is some amount of user preference in there. If you want it to have a more dramatic angle, you can certainly use it this way. But as designed, it goes this way with a slightly longer bottom on it. And we just want to make sure that you have a point of reference to quickly and easily see which side goes which way. You'll see that stamped on both pieces. It's going to be stamped on the outside of each one. That's also going to help you keep from project to project as you're taking these apart and putting them back together. It's going to very easily allow you to orient your side pieces so that you're doing it the same way all the time. It's just a point of reference for you. Just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. So then the way we've designed it, obviously the stamp will be facing up. If you choose to use it this way, absolutely go for it. If you like that angle better. So you'll get your two sides with this. Now, the bars, look at these. There is a whole host of bars. I'm just gonna set these aside for a minute. There's a whole host of bars with this one. As you might imagine, with a project this size, it sometimes introduces a couple of extra challenges. And one of the biggest challenges that we encountered was keeping a nice consistent tension all the way across your strings or your warp threads as you're going. So the first thing you're going to see is our tension rods, or excuse me, our threaded rods. This is, of course, the piece that allows you to space out your threads, your warp threads. With a project this wide, that many strings was actually causing our threaded rod to bow a little bit. And of course, that introduces challenges for your tension. Some are tight and nice and taut, the way I personally like them. And some were getting loose on me, and I struggled and I struggled. And finally, we figured out that we needed to reinforce this threaded rod. So as you can see, they are now actually mounted to these wood bars that keeps that thing from moving anywhere. This thing is solid, it's heavy, it is going to keep your warp threads where you want them. So obviously there's two of those, one for the top and one for the bottom. Next, you are going to get our tension rods. Just like all of the others, this is the same thing. This thing is wide. It is so wide. This can accommodate any number of, it has all these anchor points. It has a huge array of space for your tapestries. If you just want even a medium-sized tapestry, but you want to have some extra working space so that you can keep that project centered in your loom and not be buttoned up against some edges or some corners, this thing gives you so much working space. So There you go. This project can accommodate up to, I believe, 220 warp threads. Okay, that is huge. That is a huge project, as I'm sure all of you know. So again, you're going to get 2 of those, 2 tension rods with the anchor screws in them. Then you have got 3 of these. What the heck are these extra parts for? What we found when we had this many threads was that even just the amount of tension that's put on this loom when you're threading that many threads, it just starts to pull. There's a lot of tension on these bars. And so we determined that we needed some extra stability in this loom because there was just so much. So you are gonna find that unlike some of our other bead looms, this one has extra holes. So you've got, this one here is for your threaded rod. This one is for your tension rod with your anchor screws. Same up here, threaded rod, tension rod. And then we've got 3 extra holes in this bad boy. That is for these stability bars. This is going to keep your sides from going anywhere. 3 of these. Now our queen loom has 1 extra stability bar. That was all that one needed to keep things nice and square for you so it wasn't bowing. This one, so huge. I'm saying that over and over because it really is. And I'm going to put this together for you in a minute. You're going to see just how big this baby is. But 3. So if you get these and you're wondering where do these go, they go in those 3 extra holes, and it just keeps everything really nice and stable. It's not going anywhere. Your project is secure. So then again, for our hardware, we have the standard. It's going to come with all kinds of wing nuts, all kinds of washers to put this together. But we've also included in this one some lock washers. You're going to get these for, you're going to get 8 of them. You're going to get, 8 of them for your threaded rod and your tension rod. Now these are to keep them from turning. So the other problem that we were having as we were working on our tension issues was not only was the amount of pull on those bars causing some of them to warp, and it was causing our sides to kind of wiggle around. We stabilized those and we were still having some issues, and we found that that much pull on that tension rod was causing them to turn. And so we are sending you some lock washers so that you can keep those tension rods in place and they're not going to go anywhere either. So all of these enhancements for this one are making for a really sturdy loom. So let's put this thing together. Let's see what this looks like. The easiest way to put our looms together is to start with one side, put them all on, and then cap it off with the other side piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start out with a stability rod in the corner, or a stability bar, excuse me, in the corner. You're going to put that directly on, no washers in between the bar and the side in this particular case. And you put on a washer and a wing nut. And you're going to follow the same process for all of these pieces. And of course, it always happens when you're trying to do a video that they don't want to go on for you. But there we go. All right, so there's one. You do the same thing with the next one. I'm going to move these lock washers out of the way for just a minute. Again, I just put all of them together on one side, and then I'm going to do the same on the other. Okay, so again, in these front 2, that's going to be, the bottom one is going to be our tension rod. It's the one with the anchor screws. Now this one, because this is the one that was moving on us, this one we're going to slide on our lock washer first. That's going to go between the bar and the side support, and then you stick that in there, and then you follow it up the same way with a washer and a wing nut. Now friends, wing nuts. Oh, let me just talk to you about wing nuts. The next piece we're going to do is our threaded rod. Same thing. Lock washer first, through the side, and then the same process as before. A regular washer and a wing nut. So wing nuts. This thing has a lot of them. And I'm sure all of you know who have dealt with bead looms and wing nuts, they are not the friend of your thread. So we are going to be exploring some other options for wing nuts. We're going to try some cap nuts. We're going to be experimenting with those to see what we can come up with to make these a little bit less prone to catching. In the meantime, we do offer thread guards. It's just a little, looks like a little shower cap, quite honestly, for maybe a Barbie doll. You can wrap them around there and it helps to prevent those from catching quite so badly. So be looking for some, hopefully some good developments on the wing nut front, okay? My last two bars I've got a tension rod again, so I'm gonna throw on another lock washer, put that in there, regular washer, and a wing nut. I think you can probably see already, just by getting some of these sides on, the dimensions of this loom. They are amazing. So fun. This is going to just give you so much beading space for all of those amazing tapestries that you find. I personally have quite a few on hand that I want to try. I can't wait to get to them. Okay, so here we go. I've got one whole side done. Now I'm just going to stand this up on end, and I'm just going to cap it off with this other side piece. And it just goes together so much easier if you do it that way. Now, there are a lot of rods in here, as you can see, that we got to get lined up. But once you get them and you've got your pieces all lined up, it just goes right together. Now, oh, you know what I forgot? Not only did I get that out of there, but guess what I forgot? I forgot my lock washers. On my threaded rod, tension rod, threaded rod, and tension rod. And my daughter here, Eva, has just brought in an example of one of our, look at that, right on. Barbie is, she's here to model our, that's actually our thread guard. And I'll show you in just a moment how those work once I get all these together. It really does save a lot of frustration. So if you're struggling with your threads getting caught on those wing nuts, we do have at least a temporary solution for you. So we've got all of our washers on there. I'm gonna throw on all of these wing nuts, and then this will be ready for work threads. Before you tighten all of your wing nuts down completely the way you want them, make sure you've got your tension rods and your threaded rods adjusted and positioned the way you want them, just to make sure it's comfortable for you. Make sure that your threaded rod is facing the right direction and it hasn't gotten twisted around or anything in the process of putting it together. But you can see that we've put this together in just a few minutes. So even though there's a lot of pieces and a lot of parts, it's not at all complicated to assemble. And this is going to give you so much beading room. Oh my goodness. For those of you who love tapestries, this is going to be your friend. Okay, so there it is. This is our Tapestry King bead loom. It is available on our Etsy page right now. We are excited about this one. So here you see, this is our little thread guard is what it's called. It looks like a little shower cap. We've got these available, and you just slide it. Here's the ones that I have real trouble with them catching on are usually the ones on the most outside. So all you do is you take this little shower cap, for all intents and purposes, slide it over those wing nuts and over the top or the outside portion of the side. And it just sits there like that, just hangs out while you're working, and it prevents your threads from catching. So this is our Tapestry King bead loom. It's new from Oak Hill Family Farm. It's available now on our Etsy page, so check us out. I will link in the description stuff below a link to our page where you can go check this out. This is a natural finish. We are going to be offering very soon 3 additional finish colors, so be on the lookout for that. We're very excited to be releasing new finish colors. So if you have any questions, please send us a message, give us a shout out, and we would be more than happy to talk to you about any questions that you have. We're actually going to be stringing this up in a separate video. I'm going to string this up for you so you can see how it goes. And we're going to get a project started on this so you can see what it's like to weave on this Tapestry King bead loom from Oak Hill Family Farm. Thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful day, everybody.